Welcome to HuskerExtra.com. Brian Christopherson, joined by Steve Sipple.
Hello, Brian.
How you doing?
Real good.
We're going to talk about the offense. I think we're going to spend a lot of the fall talking about the defense, but let's talk a little bit about the Big O today.
Yeah.
They have an outward confidence about them, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, the other day, Jamal Turner was, kind of asked his expectations. He said they want to be great, and he was asked, what does great mean? He said that's 50 points a game, which is a big number.
That is a big
number. You have offensive coordinator Tim Beck, who was tweeting out references to the scoring explosion, and he called Amir and Kenny Bell and Taylor Martinez earth, wind, and fire. So they're embracing these high expectations, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think it makes sense because they do have a lot of weapons. I mean, they got a long way to go to get to 50. That's the thing. I mean, what did they average last year? 37.8, something in that range.
Something around there.
And so they're going to have to ramp it up. But if they cut back on turnovers, they had 35 giveaways last year. I think 50 is achievable. I look at it more as this is a top 10 offense, and generally what top 10 means is 40-plus points a game. If they get to 50, they're really clicking.
My guess is they've spent the last 6 or 7 months watching film from last year and probably looking at all the points they left on the field. I think that's part of it. They scored all these points, but they probably look back at it, they're like, man, we could add 10 more that game. We could add 2 more touchdowns on the board. And so that's where it comes from.
Yeah, no doubt. And it also comes from, what Bo always says, I can remember when he took over the job, we asked him, what do you want out of your offense? He said, to be multiple. Well, this is a very multiple offense. They can come at you in a lot of different ways, in terms of scheme and alignment, but also in terms of personnel. They have so many weapons. I mean, too many to really go through here. And they have some depth, and they're good up front. And I think they're good up front. We'll see how good they are. We hear that a lot this time of year. And Nebraska hasn't been real good up front for quite a long time, but they feel like they have the offensive line this year that can produce greatness.
This is the first time in Husker history that they've returned 2 guys who rushed for 1,000 yards, Amir Abdullah and Taylor Martinez. And you were talking about that offensive line. Taylor Martinez called that the strong point of the team. But I'm going to ask you one question here. They've got all these skill guys. You talk about Kenny Bell, Jamal Turner, Quincy Enunwa, and then there's some young receivers we haven't even brought up yet. Amir Abdullah, all the running backs, Taylor Martinez, one football.
Yeah.
Does that at some point become an issue? I mean, you have a lot of competitive guys, a lot of guys who want to get their touches. How do you balance that?
You know what? I don't think it becomes an issue because of what I said. It is a multiple offense. It can get the ball to a lot of different people. And Taylor's pretty good at distributing. And Taylor is unselfish. So I think that is a lot of it. Taylor is a team guy, so they have a quarterback who is happy distributing the ball. And then if you just look at the individual guys, no, I don't. I think it always could be an issue, and some of that is good. I mean, you want guys that want the ball, but will it be something that holds them back? I really would struggle to believe that'd be the case.
I'm interested in the game within the game, especially at that wide receiver spot. Kenny Bell's the guy who had the most receiving yards last year, so there's kind of this expectation he'll be that guy again. But we saw Jamal Turner start to grow, and I think Taylor's gained a confidence in him. Then there's Quincy. That'll be a good chase with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, getting 1,000 yards, any of those guys getting 1,000 yards won't be easy because of what you said. The ball's going to get spread around. Then, we don't even mention a guy like Alonzo Moore, who that's a guy who might get 18 to 20 catches this year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he did. And what do you do with Amir? Amir might catch 25 passes. He caught 24 last year. So there's a lot to go around, and it may preclude somebody from getting a big number.
A lot of weapons. Can they avoid injuries? Can they not leave the ball on the ground? Those are really the 2 big questions. We'll have a lot more here on HuskerExtra.com throughout fall camp.